just in terms of the diversification, if there was one, you said we have to diversify. We were working with tourists and construction, and now we got to, within the tourists, we have to diversify that, expand that tourism. But if there was one business that you know, what diversification does the city want to bring to Mesquite? For example, telecommunications, manufacturing, distribution. What type of business do we want to focus on so the community can rally around that vision and communicate that to the world and bring and get it done?
Well, I think, you know, the state just completed a gigantic study about what the state wants to focus on. And I know Aaron Baker, so I'm going to throw him under the bus real quick too here. There were probably, what, 5 or 6 focus areas that they felt that the state would be really good at, and distribution was one of them. We had the economic development director for the state, Steve Hill, out, and he told us to kind of look at maybe 3 things that we could focus on. It was distribution, tourism was another one. He was absolutely in awe of the infrastructure that this city has in place, in awe of it. He said, you guys are ready. This city is ready. He says, I visit other cities, they don't have half the stuff built that you have ready to go. So, in terms of focusing on a specific type of business, I think we're going to pretty much align to, what were they? Aaron, come on up here. You don't get to sit back there. I don't get to sit back there.
Logistics and distribution was the big one that works for our sector here in Mesquite. Also, the support of the existing gaming establishments is another big one on the state plan. And the other one,
wasn't healthcare one of them?
healthcare was the other one. Thank you.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Thank you, George. I drew a blank.
Thanks, George. So, you know, those are the 3 areas that the state thinks that we can make a huge impact in and do it quickly. So that's what we're going to focus on for the next little while. You know, we talked to some businesses, and I asked them, what's your 5-year plan? And they looked at me and said, the economy is so bad right now, we're just trying to go for 2 years because we don't know. We can't change the economy. We know it's different. Business models have to change. That's the way it goes. Every time there's a recession, business models have to change. The city can't do much about that, but we can focus on some areas, look into some groups. We're working heavily with the Nevada Development Authority right now, more so than we ever have, to try and get together with some of these businesses that are moving to Nevada, and there are a large number of them. And one of the greatest assets we have is the city has a lot of land, and a lot of land that has infrastructure to it already. Those are big pluses for these businesses that are looking to relocate right now. And there are a few of them. There's not a big number of them. Are we going to be able to get the 600, 700, 800 employees? I wish, but you know, we need to look at building a smaller business, go for the 25s, go for the 30s, focus on the people in California, and see what's going on. Just pick some businesses and maybe just really look at them. And we're hoping that the new economic development group will kind of take a lead in that, because they know how to talk business as opposed to politicians.
One maybe future opportunity to be thinking about, I think that's tied to the tourist business, is a retail outlet mall, a wholesale outlet mall. We're right on the main highway. My question would be, looking at that industry, questions I would ask is, you know, what traffic count are you looking for in the freeway? What traffic count are you looking for tourists in the community? What population are you looking for? You know, look, what demographics does the owner of an outlet mall look for? Once we know what they look for, that'd be a goal to achieve. And then once we achieve those milestones, then the outlet mall will come. The developer, because the developer brings in all the retailers. You know.
That's an extremely good point. We're the only place on I-15 that I know of between St. George and Barstow, California, that doesn't have outlet malls.
And a good location is where that empty building is. I don't know, it's probably privately owned.
Yeah.
But I'm sure he'd be interested in doing something with it.
Yeah. I know, Brian, you've worked on outlet malls back when you were doing economic development. I know Aaron has.
But it's
We
time.
are constantly looking, because we know that that would be a huge plus for our city. That would bring more people off that freeway. That would get them to stay maybe a little bit longer. You have things like the Mesquite Amateur.
Mhm.
When the spouse doesn't play golf, but they show up, what do? Let's keep them here. Let's get them to some shops. Let's have them hang out, buy clothes, or buy whatever it is that we can get them to be here for. You know, we've already got big events. We need businesses right now. Businesses need to capitalize on the events that are coming to this town.
If something like that, is that part of the Economic Development Committee that would go out and do some research or get answers those questions I just asked?
George said yes.
Yeah.
And it is. And I know we've looked into the demographics, haven't we, Brian?
Right. And that's why,
Come on
has to be a
forward.
private developer that really does that.
Uh-huh.
We've had just about every factory outlet mall company come and look at Mesquite.
What did they say?
Well, they want to see numbers. They
Yeah,
were
that's
looking
right.
at our visitor data going, you know,
Down.
a downward trend. We're noticing the last 6 months it's starting to come up. May, we had a 10% increase over the previous May. So we're starting to see positive numbers like we never have before. We used to talk in terms of, well, this month was less bad than it was last year, you know. And that was starting to get better. We're starting to see positive signs. So nobody's going to bring a business here if there aren't going to be visitors here to frequent them. No one would build a building out in the middle of nowhere. You have to have a reason to come here, and that's why we're focused on events. Bring events to town, bring more bodies to town, and that'll bring more people to walk into your shop and, you know, buy something or get a meal or stay in your hotel. So,
And back to the other comment, the businesses really need to capitalize on what's being done with events in the city.
Yeah, you mentioned healthcare being something that could be focused on in the future, and these sporting events are all people that I think are athletes, athletic people, family people. So I still would just like to throw it out there that I'd like the city to differentiate itself by being smoke-free, because I think that would make us different. And I still hope that will happen. Thank you.
Having lived here for a little over years and attending these meetings a little over, everything seems to be the same. But anyway, I just wanted to mean that a lot of the other issues that have been raised today have been raised over and over again all the time. But I did want to congratulate the city on their events. That has really grown and brought a lot of people here. And I think that you know, promoting that and also smoke-free, I agree with that 100%. You want to hear my story, being a little smoker and quit one 40 years ago. Anyway, I just think that the events aspect has been extremely good. Congratulations.
Well, I think I've heard these same comments for a lot of years too. And that's kind of why I'm standing here, because I think it's time we get it done. Enough talk, it's time to act.
That's what I was going to come back to, is what you said, you know, what enough talk, time to act. If I came to the next meeting, or not necessarily next, but in the future, because what we're doing now is a lot of talking.
Yep.
Now, I think if I came to a meeting and you said, we met with the outlet developer and he expressed an interest in coming to Mesquite, when we have our tourist level at this point, we're currently at this point, we're going to get there in 5 years. So in 2017, we're going to get an outlet mall. Set a goal. And then you get that carrot and you just do it. Then you got a goal. If you don't have a goal, a written goal, then you really just got talk. That's my opinion.
Well, I know we have written goals on impact fees and business
Yeah,
licensing and
but I'm
the
talking
things
about,
that we can.
for example, something specific like an
Sure.
outlet mall as
Sure.
an example, or a type of business that you want to bring here, a medical business or something that you want to have here, and you say, we're going to have this business here in 10 years.
And that's part of the deal with getting the community to all work together on certain things.
That's mine.
And get the events coming, and get more people coming, get those things working. And hopefully, you know, we'll put information together for any business that wants to come. and get that out. And then we have people like George and a bunch of others, Dave Balwig, that are working hard to make something happen in economic development from the private side as well. And I think that's one of the key elements that we've been missing for a long time, is that cohesive moving forward together on a common goal. And I think we're getting there. It takes time. It takes some time to put all this stuff together. It's hard work. It's not easy to do what they're trying to do.
Right.
But once we get it into place, I think you're going to see a private sector that's pushing forward for things that are important. And, you know, we certainly have a very, for lack of better terms, business-friendly council that is looking to make it easier for businesses to come here. So I think those are in place from a city side. We're doing what we can. The private side, I think we're working on moving together and becoming that group that's going to move forward on single goals like you mentioned. So let me check my time. I want to make sure everybody gets out of here. I'm not, okay.